Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Today I have this look for you, which is a dewy foundation and complexion look using all cream products. And my eyes, I've used the Dose of Colours Eyes Cream palette. So these are the colours here. So I'm using today the Berries and Cream, the Cone, the Hot Fudge and the Bubblegum. So if you'd like to see the entire look, just keep watching. So I've already used some eye cream and some face moisturiser about an hour ago. Had plenty of time to let that absorb. So I'm going straight in now with my Tarte Clean Slate Smoothing Primer for pores. So I've used a few others. In particular, I've used the Professional, which I found great, until I found this. It's just a little bit better. So I just pop it on the areas where I do have some pores and then just pat it in, basically. So you're filling up gaps. It just feels so soft, and like you can immediately see, if I do this section here, I think I might have put a little bit too much on there. It's just filling in those wrinkles and pores. So I bought it initially for pores, but I do actually put it up here and use it for my wrinkles. So it's winter on the Gold Coast at the moment, so I don't have to worry too much about trying to stop oil production in my T-zone, which happens in summer. And I do want a little bit more of a dewy look, so I'm going in the rest of my face, not on these areas where I would get oily, with my Becca Backlight priming filter. So I've just popped some on my hand there so you can see the glow that you get with it. So it's similar to MAC Strobe Cream or Giorgio Armani Light Master Primer. Laura Mercier has a Radiance Primer, which is very similar. I'll go in around the perimeter of my face with some of that. And don't panic too much at the start if you feel like you're glowing too much, because your foundation will actually absorb a fair bit of this. I'm trying to steer clear of those parts of my face that do get oily, although I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about that because it is winter at the moment. I am dry on the outside of my face here. So just patting that in all over. So I'm going in first up with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Now I am going to pop a little bit of my Clarins True Radiance with it as well. So I did buy the Luminous Silk Foundation originally because I wanted the luminosity, but I find that it's not very dewy and not very luminous. So I'll pop some of that on and I'll show you. I'll pop my colour in the description bar for you so you can see the colour. But I find I do need to put something underneath there to get that luminosity. So I'm going around the perimeter of the face with this colour, which I think is 5.5. And then I'm going to go in the interior with that Clarins product. So I do bring that down my neck a little as well, blend it in. So to me that doesn't look really luminous. So I will go in with a little bit of the True Radiance over the top and in the interior of my face here. So just the areas that I do want to have a little bit more dewiness to it. Now I found if you're having trouble getting around your eyebrows, get a flat brush, flat foundation brush. This is a MAC 150 or 130, and then my glasses on, so I'll pop it in the description bar for you. Just pop a little bit on and then use the tip of the brush to actually go around your eyebrows. Okay, going in as always with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. So a little bit up into the inner corners, underneath my eyes. Now I'm not placing a heap of product under there, it's just a very small amount on the brush and just stippling it basically. So you may have seen a few of my other videos where I talk about not using a concealer now. I'm over 50 and it just doesn't work for me. I've got fair skin, and anything that's pinky sort of based does brighten underneath the eyes. So I'm also going in with my MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose, and just a little bit extra lightness underneath the eyes. Now I do the typical areas that are highlighted as well. And then just blend that in. So just patting motions to blend. And try and stay in the area that you've actually placed the product. If it feels like it's a bit too much, we can always go back in with the foundation brush and blend. And then our bronzer as well, blend into the bronzer as well. So I'm just blending that product into the foundation with my foundation brush like I always do. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit more bronze today and a bit more glow. So I'm using my Rouge Bunny. This is a bronzer in 065. It's actually a glowy bronzer. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that glow. So it gives you that dewy effect. It's a perfect colour. It's not orange and it's not grey. So I'll pop a little bit on my fingers first up and just place the product where I want it. And then go in with my large duo fibre brush and just blend that. Now I find with this product it is fairly runny and I do need to do it a couple of times to actually get an effect. Like that is quite subtle there. But to get that beautiful glow on your face, it's not matte. I mean, I steer away from as many matte products as I can as I get older, except for my eyelids, of course. So I'm just going to go in again and just place a little bit more product down. And just stipple. This has to be one of my favourite products for adding glow. Give you that real summer kind of look. And for mature skin it's absolutely beautiful. So that's not too dramatic, it just gives you that beautiful glow on your face. Now I think the key with mature skin is to blend. So you don't have those real harsh kind of lines. You've got your contour line and the young girls bake and they put the powder underneath. It just doesn't work for mature skin, I find now, for me. But to blend everything really well. And cream products are fantastic for blending. Now if you're finding when you're putting your foundation on you do get settling into any lines, it just means you put a little bit too much product on there, so just go over and just stipple over that area. I often get that happening here beside my lips. And this is the area I really want to concentrate on not putting too much product or swiping too much, so I really like to just pat over that area and make sure I don't have too much product that's going to settle in there later on. So time for some blush, and I'm using today my by Terry. Now it is called Cellularose Blush Glace in Rosé Melba. That's very, very, very light pink. Put some on your hand, and then I'm just going to get a stippling brush. So this is by Etude House, a duo fibre, and basically just go into the product, pop some on your brush, and then just stipple in the areas that you want. So I like to pop it on my cheeks and then blend up. So it's like I said, it's very subtle. It doesn't come out as bright as that pink on your face. But it's a cream product, and every time I use a cream product on my face, I just feel like I'm hydrating it. I'm not weighing it down with powder that's going to sit in those fine lines. So the last product I'm going to apply before I go in and do my eyes is Jouer's highlighter in Champagne. So you can use your finger for this, you can use a brush, whichever you prefer. So fingers just patting on that cheekbone area. I've got a wrinkle there I want to steer clear of, and I've got some texture here, so I don't want to go down too far. So I'm just patting that in. So a tiny bit on my nose there. I'm going to pop a little bit more up in this area here. I feel like I've got a lot of glow going on up here, but you can always add to the glow. A little bit of highlight around the nose, around the lips. And blend that in. Okay, so onto the eyes. So as usual, I'm using my Urban Decay primer in Eden. I'm still waiting on my P. Louise eye makeup base, and it is a small company in the UK, so I would imagine, and yes, it's taking a while to pack it up and ship it to Australia. So I'm being patient, but I am looking forward to getting that to see how it actually performs on mature lids. Okay, so onto the Eyes Cream palette, which I finally got my hands on. It's absolutely stunning. Now the only colours that I'm kind of missing are the orange tones. I'm not really a purple girl, so I can't imagine me using the lavender or the blueberry swirl, although you never know. So today we're going for a pink look. So I'm going to use bubblegum. So I'll start off in the transition area or all over with berries and cream. So I'll just set the entire lid with that. Now don't forget, when you're priming and setting, to go right down into the inner corner area and right across as far as you want to put your eyeshadow. So I tend to always blow my eyeshadows out, make them a bit smoky, so I always tend to come out in this area here, sort of towards the end of my brow. So the first colour I'm going to go in is Cone. So very lightly on the same brush and just very lightly into that transition area. Now that's got a lot of pigment. It does have that purpley tone to it, which I just said I don't like. It's actually quite nice. With those two colours, I found the payoff and the colour density is absolutely brilliant. That didn't take long at all to get that. Now that's got a purpley tone to it, which you don't really realise when you look at it in the pan. It does look more brown to me. I did say I don't like purples. That's not too bad. It's almost a pinky purple. Now you would be inclined to go in with Blueberry Swirl, which is a darker purple. I'm not going to do it because it just looks hideous on my eyes. So I'm going to go in with Hot Fudge, which is really only the other darker matte colour that I could use besides the lavender. So the Hot Fudge is the deep dark brown there, and just basically in the outer corner tap that colour in. Now I'm just going to bring that up into the crease slightly. So they're blending pretty well. It doesn't take long at all to actually blend the colours out. Now, I did say they're blending very well. I don't know if I'm imagining or not, but this eye's just a little bit patchy. Now, I've used a primer underneath that I ordinarily would use, but I have set it with one of these colours, so I'm not quite sure whether that's got anything to do with it at all. But that does look a bit patchy on this side. And this is a brush that I ordinarily would use as well. Dose of Colours blending brush. And if it really is hard to blend, just go back in with that initial colour and just blend the edge. I don't know, what do you think? I think this eye is a bit patchy, or am I being a bit too pedantic? I'm just not quite sure. I just feel like this side is patchy, and I did exactly the same thing on this eye as I did on this eye. So the pigment of the colour is beautiful. Very rich colour, but I just don't know whether it's blending really well. So that's the colour Hot Fudge. Okay, so time for the lid colour. So I'm going with Urban Decay primer. This one's in Minor Sin. So I'll just go in and place the product where I want my shimmer eyeshadow to be. And then I'm going in with the pink, which is Bubblegum, just a bit brighter pink than I'm used to. So just on a large shadow brush with some Fix Plus, just dip into that colour. It's a pretty pink. And just softly going over the edges there. No extra product on the brush, just over the edges to blend that. So now I'm going back in with Hot Fudge, deepen up that outer corner and actually blend it across that pink. So I'm just going in underneath the lashes, so I'll go in with that Hot Fudge first up. I don't want to put a heap of product under here. Just a little. Make sure they connect in the outer corner there, the two darker colours. And then I'll just go back in with Cone and just blend that out. So I feel like I need some lightness in the inner corner. I don't really want to put a shimmer in there. The only shimmer really that's left is a copper. So the sherbet is more of a copper colour, and then you've got Banana Split, which is really quite goldy yellow. So I don't really want to use either of those, so I'm going back in with that Berries and Cream, which is the colour that I set my makeup with, which is a really light matte colour. So I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about the colours. I don't think they really blended very well. I had a bit of a hard time. Initially I thought it was going to be great. I don't know if I really like this. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I'll do my eyebrows, put some lashes on, put some lippy on, and see how I feel at the end of that. Okay, so I finished up the rest of my makeup. I had a fight with my lashes, and I've put some lipstick on. And then the final product I'm going to put on is my MAC Fix Plus. So it's not a setting spray. A lot of people use it to blend powder products into their cream products on their face. I just find this just adds a tiny little bit of a last minute glow, not a glow, just a radiance to your face. I try and keep it away from my eyes, so I don't really want anything to go on my eyeshadow that I've just placed down. And just let that dry before you do too much. Okay, so I am happy with my complexion. The products I've used today have given me that glow that I was after. Like I said, it's not summer at the moment, so I don't have to worry too much about oil. So I do have a dewy, radiant complexion, I feel. Now, if you're getting wrinkles on your forehead, you might want to stop and not put the highlighter just above your eyebrows like I'm doing. I'm just starting to get those lines up there now, so I probably only have about 6 months left that I can do this. And I probably need to stop doing that, so you can see those lines coming there now. But I mean, if you have a nice forehead, that little bit of highlight just above your eyebrows just gives you that little bit extra glow, which I like. Now, the pink, I was planning on that being a bit more shimmery, but it's a bit more of a satin colour rather than a shimmer. And I think that green is a bit more shimmery, a satin too, as well. I'm not shimmery as such. So I'll just pop the other shimmer colours against it. I mean, they're more satiny than shimmer to me. Now, the one reason I do tend to do looks that are more blown out and blended is that I do have wrinkles around my eyes here and here, obviously underneath here as well. But if I do an eyeshadow look that sort of stops here and has that more crisp or sharp line to it, the eyeshadow will bleed at the end of the day anyway into these wrinkles. So I find if I do a blown out look and cover those up with that eyeshadow, anything that's going to bleed is going to bleed into those wrinkles anyway, and that's already going to have the colour there. So that's why I tend to do more of a blown out look. I do like that 60s vibe. I have hooded eyes, so I like to make the most of the top of my eye lashes, so I do tend to put the outer corner lashes on and skip underneath. So I do want to try and bring everything up and out. So that's my dewy look for today using the Dose of Colours Ice Cream palette. If you do want to see more from this palette, let me know. So if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment, share and subscribe. Click on the notifications bell so you're notified when I do upload more content. Keep being the best version of you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.